Welcome, everyone, to Task Arena. Time for Hobbs Eagle basketball. Live on the radio, Cool 95.7, on the internet, on the HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, Hobbs Sports page, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Ty Friend here with you tonight at Task Arena, and at the station, Evie Stuber, getting you caught up on all the scores and keeping us on the air tonight. Hobbs going to open up their district schedule finally as they'll get to play against the Clovis Wildcats. Of course, they were supposed to play on Tuesday night. That game was canceled and rescheduled due to the big-time storm, the Storm Fern that came through the southeast and the rest of the country as well, southwest too, and really made some damage around the area. So a lot of games are rescheduled. Hobbs will take on Roswell next Tuesday night. That will be on the road in Roswell. The original was for this past Tuesday, so that will kind of get us back on track. That would have been an off night for all the district teams, so it was easy to reschedule those for the teams that were affected. So the Hobbs Eagles come into this one at 12-8 on the season. Coach Ronald Ross, of course, and the Clovis Wildcats with Coach Pickett at 10-8. This is their first district game for both teams, as both had their games rescheduled, as we said, on Tuesday. Well, the last time the Eagles played was against Artesia on a road trip, and unfortunately losing that one 65-53. Eagles went a quick hole in the first quarter. We're down 18-8 and down by 10 as well at halftime, so it's pretty much the same 10-point spread up until that third quarter. At the end of three, though, they were down by 13, 52-39, as they were outscored 22-19 in the third. And then the final quarter, Hobbs able to put in 14 points, which was 1 point better than Artesia, but still ended up losing by 12, again 65-53. Turnover situation wasn't too bad for the Eagles. Only had 8 in the game, and they caused us 16 for Artesia, so half the number that Artesia had, but of course the Bulldogs got the win regardless. Josiah Clay, the top scorer for Hobbs, he had 22 points. Had some free throws as well for the Eagles, as he was 3 of 5 from the line, had a rebound as well. So he definitely was well ahead of everybody in scoring. Lyric Soria had 10 points on 2 trays and 4 rebounds. But the big numbers for the season, Adrian Moore, probably his best game. He had 10 points for Hobbs and 8 rebounds. Was also perfect on the charity stripe at 2 for 2. And, of course, coming off the bench for the Eagles. And he had 4 fouls and heading into that fourth quarter, so he had to be careful about not getting his final. But he did stay for the entirety of the ball game. So very anxious to see what he might be able to produce in this one against Clovis. Hobbs managed 4 3-pointers in that ball game. 2 of those from Soria. Malachi David got 1 3-pointer as well, and also Josiah Clay. Eagles were out rebounding in the contest, which was kind of big difference, 37-23. Of course, Artesia ranked first in the 4A Max Preps Bowl, been that way for the last couple of weeks. They've also were the state champions from last year. They definitely had some guys that could crash boards. They finished up with 4 guys in double figures, led by Charlie Campbell's 22 points. And, of course, a lot of these guys play football for Artesia, too, so they do have some physicality out there. Eagles were 7 of 9 from the charity stripe, not too bad at 77%. And that's pretty much the numbers in that ball game. But really the difference was the rebounding. Again, 37-23, as Artesia did a better job of cleaning the glass and getting second opportunities. In terms of rebounds for Hobbs, Malachi David with 6 points, although kind of quiet on the offensive side of it in terms of scoring. He had 5, but he's still kind of ginger on that knee and looked like he's warming up pretty well in this game before the Clovis contest here tonight. So we'll have to see how he is able to continue up and down the court dealing with that injury that he had earlier. So the Eagles with that loss, again, dropped to 12-8. They are down now to number 9 in the Max Preps poll. They have hovered around 6 through that number 9 here the last couple of weeks. So definitely like to get a win to kind of keep in that spot in the top 10. Currently, Cleveland's at number 1, Rio Rancho 2. So the 2 teams in the Rio Rancho area both getting the top 2 spots. Volcano Vista has been a state champion quite a few times in the last 5 years or so, coming at 3rd. Las Cruces, who were defeated by the Eagles at number 4. La Cueva at number 5. The Eagles got to play them at the APS Metro Tournament. Then it's number 6, Farmington. Number 7, Albuquerque, a team the Eagles beat. Number 8 is Sandia, another team the Eagles beat. So that's a pretty good deal if we have to go up head-to-head on the seeding for the state tournament, having wins against those 2 squads. Hobbs at number 9, as we mentioned, and Carlsbad sits at number 10 currently. They have a 13-6 record. Roswell checks in at 18. They're 11-9. Hobbs will get them on Tuesday on the road. And Clovis is at number 19. They are 10-8. Hobbs definitely good numbers in terms of strength of schedule. They're 3rd best in the top 10 with a 14.2. First is La Cueva 15-9 and Volcano Vista 14-5. You got to remember, a lot of these teams, of course, from Albuquerque, so they play all the top teams in the state, especially at the APS Metro. So good wins against quality opponents can help your strength of schedule. But Hobbs, as we mentioned, third best in the state at 14.2, well ahead of Carlsbad's 9.9, Roswell 7.8, and Clovis's 8. So Hobbs really gets themselves mixed up with some good action in the pre-district schedule, which is going to get them ready for these district opponents that they're taking on starting tonight. Now, Clovis Wildcats again at 10-8, currently sitting at that 19th spot in the Max Preps poll. They beat Portales in one game recently, 75-47. They were up big at halftime by 19. Of course, Portales out of the 4A. They're currently ranked 10th in the 4A. Joseph Cavazos finishing with 16 for Clovis. Buddha Curry had 13, and Mike Clinton finished with 11. So those three guys combining for 40 of the 75 points for Clovis. All 14 of their players scored in that ball game. So pretty decent stuff there in terms of guys getting involved with the offense. Portales only had one guy in double digits. He had 16 points. And a lot of pressing action for the Clovis defense, so they really get some turnovers against the Portales Rams. Their most recent game, though, Clovis beat hard on Lovington 64-50. That was a 14-point win, but previously, earlier in the season, they beat Lovington 83-49. That was a 34-point win. So Lovington got a lot closer in that second matchup, but still a win for Clovis. Lovington ranked 19th in the 4A poll. Clovis is actually down at halftime in that game, 30-28, but came back in the second half and took care of business. They scored 27 points in the third quarter, including 10 of 14 from the free throw line in that third quarter. And they had that Carpenter kid for him really stepping up. Clint Carpenter had 8 points, including 2 trays in that third quarter alone, which really got them over the hump into the victory. Mike Clinton finished with 15 points in the game, and Luke Carpenter with 12. Those two combined for 27. Carpenter got all his points out of trays. He had 4 3-point shots go in for Clovis in that win. So their last 2 wins have been against 4A opponents, number 10 Portales and number 19 Lovington. That's where they get their 10th win of the season. Clovis averaging 54.1 point a contest. Hobbs at 61, so about 7 points better per game. Clovis giving up just 51.8 points a game. Hobbs giving up a little bit more at 54.7. But once again, you got to go back to the strength of schedule. Of course, Hobbs 14.2, Clovis 8. Hobbs playing a lot tougher schedule in terms of teams they faced. That kind of gives you an idea why those numbers might be a little skewed in terms of the defensive prowess of Clovis versus Hobbs. But that doesn't mean they're a bad defensive team. Just means some of the quality of opponents might not be as high as they should be. In terms of some of the games that Clovis has played besides the 2 against Portales and Lovington, they lost to number 2 Rio Rancho 57-40, so a 17-point loss there. That was earlier in the season. They lost to number 12 Alamogordo by 9. They beat Santa Fe, who's ranked 14th, 41-35, a close one there by 6. Beat Lovington twice, as we mentioned. Also, 2-game wins against Piedra Vista by 6 and by 13th, as Piedra Vista is ranked 24th in the state. Again, they turned their lights off here at Tasker Arena, which is always fun during the pregame show because I don't have all these notes and numbers memorized. I'll just be honest with you about that. Of course, the Eagles will play tonight, and then they'll have a Tuesday matchup on the road in Roswell. Should mention, Roswell picked off Artesia about a week and a half ago by 10. Of course, Artesia beat Hobbs by 12, so that kind of gives you an idea. Roswell's no slouch. They've had some contests so far this season against several different squads. They have played, of course, Lovington and some other teams around the area, but don't play as the toughest schedule as Hobbs has this season. They haven't been to the APS Metro tournament for that matter. They play in that home tournament during the Christmas holidays, but definitely don't have the matchups that Hobbs has had. So that'll be kind of a good little game to see next Tuesday. Again, that'll be on the road for Hobbs to make up from this past Tuesday. Good to see Malachi David back in the warm-ups tonight. Of course, had kind of a slower game against Artesia, but he's definitely ready to get some boards for Hobbs, one of the leaders on the team when it comes to getting the glass. And, of course, his double-digit scoring this season is definitely a needed factor as well. Still trying to wait for these lights to come back on here at Tasker Arena. Of course, the Hobbs 8 Eagles are on the road tonight. They're playing at Clovis, and, of course, they're number 1 in the Max Preps Bowl, so good luck to Coach Carpenter and his squad. Hobbs will be starting Braddock Beatty. Of course, Braddock averaging 10.6 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, has 14 trays on the season as well. Malachi David, the big center, he's averaging 14.7 a game and close to 8 rebounds a contest. And he's got 23 three-pointers, second best on the squad. Lyric Soria, the guard for the Eagles, at 13.4 points a contest, averaging 2.6 rebounds and also leads the team in three-point shots with 45 converted. Josiah Clay with that 22 points against Artesia the other night. He is averaging 11.8 a contest, 4.2 rebounds, and has 7 trays this season. And last but not least, the Darius Proby. He is averaging 5.5 points a game, 2.3 rebounds, and has 5 trays as well. Getting ready for the announcements here, including the prayer and the national anthem here at Task Arena. We will take a 90-second break and come back live with more Hobbs Eagle Hoops as they face Clovis here at Tasker. Stay with us. Welcome back to Task Arena. Time for Hobbs Eagle basketball against the Clovis Wildcats to open up district. We mentioned the starters for the Eagles before the break. Braddock Beatty, Malachi David, Lyric Soria, Josiah Clay, and Darius Proby. And for the Clovis Wildcats, Kaiden Everett, one of their junior guards, 5'9". He is the point guard. Luke Carpenter, one of their top scorers, a senior guard at 6'2". Ethan Gutierrez, he is a junior forward at 6'3". Jaden Tapia, a senior guard at 5'11", and Johnny Molina, 6'2", senior guard. Those are your starters. They got a couple big guys that are on the bench, and one of them is one of their best scorers as well, Mike Clinton, so kind of waiting to put him in as a center. He's 6'5", and Roddy Cabledew at 6'7". He's the tallest kid on the roster for the Clovis Wildcats. We should mention, if you kind of recognize that name, Cabledew, Bryce Cabledew was a player, big-time football player, did some basketball too for Clovis several years back. In fact, 2025, he was drafted by Kansas City, the Chiefs, for the National Football League. 6'4", 306-pound offensive guard. He was drafted in the 6th round with the Kansas City Chiefs. Bryce Cabledew, that is, of course, the relative of the Roddy Cabledew that's going to be on the Clovis roster tonight. He was traded to the Seahawks, though, and did play 8 games as a rookie. He had a knee injury, though, this season, has been on the IR for several weeks, so won't probably play in the big Super Bowl coming up next Sunday, but he is on the roster still for the Seattle Seahawks, a special teams player for them. So that's kind of a neat number there. And a neat situation for Bryce Cabledew and the Clovis Wildcats. Of course, remember calling some of his games, playing football and some basketball, too, for Clovis. Coach Pickett, 10-8 for the Wildcats. Your coach, Ronald Ross, for the Hobbs Eagles at 12-8. These two teams played last year, of course, in the district. Clovis was 8-17 overall, did not make the tournament, 0-6 in district. First time the two teams played on January 31st of last year. Hobbs winning at 71-59. Josiah Clay finished with 7. Sorian with 4. Beatty had 2, and so did Hernandez. By the way, Javen Hernandez is back for tonight's game. He's been out with a knee injury. And for the Clovis team in that game, Brown had 12, Carpenter with 11, and Clinton finished up with 8, Tapia with 2. The second game of the season, Hobbs winning even bigger by 26, 75-49. Brown finished with 14 for Clovis. Clinton had 5, and Gutierrez had 3. For the Hobbs Eagles, it was Beatty with 10 points and 6 rebounds. Soria had 2 points. Clay had 5. Hobbs outscored Clovis in the second half, 43-26, so doubling up plus against the Wildcats. Payne was the top scorer in both of those games, the graduate, 28 in the first and 27 in the second for the Hobbs Eagles. Again, Hobbs winning both those games, plus 12 and plus 26. As we get ready for the tip, it's going to be for Clovis, the Ethan Gutierrez, 6'3" against Malachi David, but he gets the tip into the backcourt. Actually, I think Malachi tipped it, but to Clovis' side, and so they'll get it in the front court to start it off. Ryden Kyden Everett with the basketball. Gets the screen, heads to the right circle, jump stop. Hand it off behind him to Johnny Molina. Dribbles to the left of the lane, kick it down left corner to Everett. Fires up a fadeaway 18-footer near the left corner. It looks like Proby threw a shoulder into him. They call the foul. Ball hits off the rim. Don't even think that was a three-point shot. So it should be a two-shot foul. Yes, it will be. Proby will pick up the first foul of the ball game. And that'll be first free throw opportunities here for Clovis to get the game started. Hobbs comes into this contest shooting 67% from the charity stripe. And they're averaging 14.3 turnovers a contest. Eagles with 118 three-pointers this season. That's about 5.9, but close to 6 three-pointers a contest. Pretty good numbers there. Everett misses his first free throw off the front of the rim. He'll get one more. So we're looking for our first point of the scoreboard here. Hobbs fans standing up here at Tasker, waiting for their first points to get on there. Purple and white for Clovis. Second shot off the front of the rim as well. Underneath is Malachi David. Kind of threw out an elbow to get off the defender there. His first board of the ball game. Gives it off to Soria. Comes across the timeline. Beatty gets a pass on the left wing as he went from right to left to come get it. Dumps it down left corner to Malachi David with the pivot. One dribble. Throws it cross court. Jumping in the air. Clay at the right corner to bring it down. He cradles, goes to the rack, baseline. Throws up a hook shot at the right block and scores. Eagles in the bucket first. And the crowd gets to have a seat now as their team leads 2-0. Going to the other end, hippity hop for Molina. Leans and shoots to the left block, rolls out the back of the rim. Another rebound for David underneath the hoop. Throws it ahead to Clay on a 2-on-5. Goes to the rack, double clutch right side, misses. Pulled down off the rim by Everett. Throws it up ahead for Clovis to Gutierrez. With a reverse layup right side, high off the glass, no good. Rebound left baseline by Braddock Beatty with a wraparound pass up court to Soria. Down the front side. Slows it up top of the arc. Scoop pass to Beatty left wing. Behind to David on the far left sideline. No looker down to Proby at the right base. Faces two defenders with the pivot. Kick to Clay right baseline. 15-footer hits on the side of the rim right side. No good. Pulled down underneath by Molina for the Wildcats. Outlet to the time stripe. Kyden Everett will come across. Slows it down on the right wing. Stop and go dribble to the left elbow. Pivots. Pass off to the right elbow to Gutierrez. Kick out right wing. 3 on the way. Clinks off the rim. And the glass no good for Carpenter. Pulled down for the Eagles by Proby. Sends it ahead and a layup for Beatty on the right side. Beatty with his first points. Proby with the rebound. 4-0 Eagles early. 6:10 left first quarter. Clovis going to slow it down with the perimeter offense now. At the timeline is Everett. On the Hobbs Eagle logo. Takes a hard drive down the right side of the lane. Backs out as Malachi David helps out with Beatty on the D double team. Throws it back deep to the scorer's table far right to Carpenter. Dribbles around the left circle. Unloads to Molina. Drives to the free throw line. Bump it in to Soria. He dishes it down low on the reverse down to the right side, and missing the layup was Molina. Rebound for the Eagles by Soria. Up ahead to Beatty on the right wing. Holds the ball for a second, up top to David, fakes a three, kick left to Clay. Clay gonna fire for three himself and puts it right through the threads. And he puts those biceps in the air to show the crowd he's fired up. He's got 5 of the Eagles' 7 points. They're up 7-zip. At the other end, a long ball down to Carpenter left corner. Tries to dribble in the lane, lost it. Stripped by Soria. Clovis turnover. Soria comes down the lane with a scoop shot, barely off the rim, no good. Pulled down the near sideline in transition by Everett, his second. Throws it up ahead, double clutch on the right glass high and off and into the rim for 2 for Molina. Boy, he leaned into Malachi David that time, but that is the first bucket for Clovis, who trails by 5. Eagles in the front court, 7-2, 5 minutes left first quarter. Soria gonna slow it down, flips it up top to Clay. To the left wing, crossover move, gets knocked to the floor as he slides left to right on the free throw line, and he was hit pretty hard by Ethan Gutierrez. That's his first team foul against the Wildcats. It'll be Hobbs basketball on the left baseline. And boy, they're going to their bench early. Coach Pickett bringing in 4 reserves coming in now. That includes Joseph Cavazos. Also Mike Clinton, who is a pretty big center, 6'5", second biggest on the team. Inbound to David left wing. Come back to get it as Proby left side to Soria left corner. One hands it back to Proby, top of the arc. Over to Clay on the right wing, gets a double team top of the circle, bounce pass to Proby, pivots, goes to his left, backs it out to the right wing. Flings it over to Beatty. Soria comes, gets it on the near right side, cross court left to Clay. One hand bounce pass to Proby, middle of the free throw line. Kick out right to Soria, fakes a 3 to Beatty in the right corner. He's going to try to move this matchup zone, dribbles to the free throw line, flings over to Malachi David, open for 3 left wing, off the front of the rim though, and a rebound underneath by Cavazos, his first board. He'll take on Clay, stop and go, dribble in the front court, crossover move, wait for a screen near left sideline from Clinton, gets it. Dribbles to the free throw line, backdoor cut, and bounces it to Clinton. They call the travel on the drive. Clinton kind of shuffled his feet before going up with it on the give and go. And that's going to be the second turnover for the Wildcats. Javen Hernandez back after a few game departure as he had a knee injury. He's on the court now. Hobbs up 7-2, 4 minutes left first quarter. In the front court, Soria dribbling behind his back. Allows to Clay on the right wing. He's picked up on D by Clifton Brown. Give it over to Beatty on the left wing. Jab step, give to Soria in front of the scorer's table far left. Back to the time stripe in the Hobbs Eagle logo section. One hand bounce pass to Beatty, kind of a light pass. They're going to call the foul. Shoving was Johnny Molina. Almost had a pickoff on the near left side or right sideline. But he shoved first, so they call the foul on Molina. Second team foul on the Wildcats. Still a 5-point Eagle lead. A tray and a bucket for Clay and a bucket for Beatty as well. 2 points for Molina for the Wildcats. Inbound to Clay on the near side. For the Taskovich band. Hard dribble down the lane, crossover through 2 defenders, stops his dribble at the left block. Kick out to left corner to Beatty, fires up a 3 off the rim, no good. And in transition off the rebound, Everett with his 3rd board. Bounce pass back door to Curry. Curry goes up high in the air, and he has a collision as he tries to unload the basketball coming down the right side of the pike. They call the foul on the Eagles on a body foul. That's going to get charged to Malachi David, his first team foul. So it's going to be a chance for Buddha Curry to get his first points in the ball game. Clovis 0 for 2 on the charity stripe from Everett here earlier in this quarter. 7-2 score, Hobbs by 5, 3:30 left here in the first. First shot is up, hard off the back of the rim. Still have not put a free throw through yet. Taskovich band is obliging them with some negative mood music there. Eagles get a sub in to Darius Lowe. Beatty will take a breather. And on for Clovis, Kyson Ulibarri. Second shot for Curry is up and off the back of the rim. 0 for 4 on the line of the Wildcats. Rebound underneath the hoop, though. Tried to pounce it in the lane. That the rebound was by Ulibarri. Ball gets deflected and taken away. Nice job for Hernandez to track it down. And here come the Eagles. Throws it across the timeline to Soria, top of the arc. Over to Malachi David on the right wing. Fakes a 3, drives the lane right side. Triple pressure on him on the right block. Tries to scoop underneath the 3 defenders, and the foul called. David gets hard to the hardwood that time. Goes down as he gets bumped. He kind of leaned into his shooter to try to draw the foul and got it. And they're going to call that one against Mike Clinton, his first, 3rd team foul. 3-2 foul count now. And now David on the line to shoot. David at 77% and makes the free throw. Hobbs extends their lead to 6, 8-2. First point of the game for David. Jalen Sanders on the floor now for the Eagles as Soria gets a breather. Second shot for David is too much reverse spin, comes out of the rim, no good. Ball tipped underneath the hoop, and it looks like it's last touched by the Wildcats as it comes off the hands of Jordan Parrish. Looked like Lowe is in there battling for the Eagles as well. Actually, that came off the hand of Kyson Ulibarri. Eagle basketball on the left baseline, inbounding is Lowe for Hobbs. Goes it back to David, top of the arc. Quick no-looker to the right corner. Three on the way for Sanders, who was left wide open for about 18 feet. Counted for Sanders, wide open for the J that time. And the Hobbs Eagles have their biggest lead of 8, 10-2. 3:06 remaining first quarter. Timeout Clovis. We're coming back with you in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Your Hobbs Eagles lead by 8, 10-2 over Clovis with 3:06 remaining in the first quarter after a Clovis timeout. It'll be Wildcat basketball. Inbound into the backcourt, bringing it across is Cavazos, gets a screen up top from Clinton, goes to the rack with it, gets tied up as he tries reverse from left to right down the lane. Sanders and Malachi David, and looked like even Clay might have got a piece of that one on the jump, and they're calling it for the Eagles on the arrow. That'll need to be another turnover for Clovis, 3-0 on the turnovers. And at the deficit of the purple and white. Eagles by 8, 2:50 left first quarter. Into the front court. Right wing, Low at the bounce pass. Right corner, Malachi David takes a step into the paint. Reverse slam as he clutched it underneath his right bicep. Reverse right to left, off the glass, count it. David now with 3 points. 12-2, 10-point lead, the biggest of the game for the Eagles. In the front court, off a screen is Cavazos. Bounce pass in the right corner, front court to Brown. Brown stumbles around, had his foot down as a pivot, and then kind of moved it around a bit, got the travel. So now 4 turnovers back-to-back on their last 2 possessions, giving it back to the Eagles as Hobbs smelling blood in the water here, up by 10. 2:29 remaining in the first, 12-2. Low in the front court, double team against him. Throws it across, but right in the hands of Cavazos. He goes to rack with a little windmill lamp on the right side, no good. Pulled down at the free throw area by Clifton Brown, his first board. He'll back it out to the left wing, he gets Hernandez. Little head fake. A shuffle step, tries to go baseline with it, and they're going to call Hernandez with a little block action. They call the foul. First on Hernandez, third team foul against the Eagles, so we're even at 3 fouls apiece. Clovis will have it on the left baseline. Inbounding will be Cavazos. Got a box look on the inbound for the Wildcats. Throw it back deep left elbow to Gutierrez. Get it to the left wing to Cavazos. Hippity hop in the lane, kick it right wing. Curry's going to drive with the runner shot down the lane. It bounces out the back of the rim, high in the air, and drops through the cylinder. First bucket for Curry. 12-4, Hobbs by 8. Dribbling up to the left side of the half arc is Clay. Gets it back door, and a shot taken on the run by Sanders. Gets knocked to the floor. Tried to scoop it up, and was biting. Went to the hardwood that time. They called the foul. That'll be against Kyson Ulibarri. His first, and the 14th foul against the Wildcats. So Sanders get a chance to shoot some free throws here. He is 3 for 5 on the season for 60%. First shot is off the right of the rim. He'll get one more though. Eagles already had 4 scores in the game so far, 2 for Clovis, Hobbs by 8. More subs coming in. First action tonight for Hendrick Sullivan. Also, Adrian Moore on the court, had 10 against Artesia last week. Second shot good for Sanders. He's got 3 total. 12 to, or make it 13-4. 1:48 left in the quarter. Into the front court, crossover for Brown. Goes back door, little hook shot from the right block, off the mark by Carpenter. Rebound by Mora. Mora had some good boarding too against Artesia with 6. 10.6 boards. 13-4, Hobbs by 9. Pass across the timeline to Soria, getting a screen from Mora. A little bit of a football block there. Goes over to left corner to Sullivan. Up top to Sanders, jacks up a 3 off the back of the rim. Pulled down on the right block for Clovis by Cavazos. Throws it ahead to Curry. Drives the lane. Tucks it under his bicep. Lost the ball high in the air off the rim. Pulled down by Javen Hernandez. That's his first board. And it looks like Javen has gone down as he unloaded the basketball. He's crumpling up now. No, actually, that's Moore, excuse me. It's Moore that went down. Looks like he's clutching possibly either left or right leg here. So Javen got the play, and then Moore was the one that went down hard. Looked like they're holding his left ankle right now. Clock stop, 1:12 left here in the first, 13-4, Hobbs by 9. Just got done talking about Moore and his activity against Artesia last week. Hate to see him going down like that. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Hobbs 13, Clovis 4. Come back with us in half a minute on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Adrian Moore helped off the court with a left ankle injury for the Hobbs Eagles. 13-4, Hobbs by 9 after the official timeout. Inbound to Sori, who brings it across the timeline, gets a screen from Sanders, dribbles to the right wing, underhands it to David, right corner, wide open 18-footer, it's in, rolls around the rim and drops through for the Eagles. David now with 5 of the Eagles' 15 points in the first. Hobbs up by 11, their biggest lead of the first quarter. Clovis basketball in the front court. Cavazos top of the arc. Dribbling through his legs on the right wing. Over the left side of the arc to Brown. He'll back it out. Coming to get on the handoff is Curry left side. Taking on Sanders with his left hand. Wraparound pass in the lane is loose. Hernandez steals at the free throw line. Clovis' 5th turnover. Dribbles in the front court to give it to Sanders at the time stripe. Picked off by Curry. Lays it on the right glass and scores. And then Javen fouls him late. Curry now with 4 points. That was the Eagles' 2nd turnover. And Hernandez going to pick up the foul. That'll be his 2nd. And the 14th foul. So 15-6 now. 31 seconds left in the quarter. As on the line will be Curry. He's 0 for 2 on the line. Clovis 0 for 4 as a team. And now make it 0 for 5 as it clinks off the rim twice. Pulled down by Hernandez on the right block. His 2nd board. Up ahead to Soria, left wing, down the left corner. Sullivan, fadeaway 3 off the back of the rim. Pulled down in the paint by Clovis by Gutierrez. Outlet ahead court to Brown in the left wing. Stop and go. Pivot to the left block. Cross court right, wide open for a 3 is Gutierrez. Ball bounces off the middle of the rim, no good. Pulled down by the Eagles in the paint by David, his 3rd rebound. He'll take the dribble himself with 6 seconds coming across the timeline. Gives it off to Surrey on the right wing with 3. Fires up an NBA 3 off the back of the iron. Pulled down at the free throw line at the buzzer for Clovis by Roddy Cabledew. At the end of 1, your Hobbs Eagles a comfortable 9-point lead, 15-6 over Clovis. We'll take a 60-second break, come back on the radio, Cool 95.7, on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Getting ready for 2nd quarter action here at Task Arena. Ty Friend here with you. E.B. Stewart back at the station. Jessica Friend on scoreboard and Allison Friend on camera tonight. A 9-point lead for the Hobbs Eagles, 15-6 as we start the 2nd. Clovis basketball, their top scorer is Curry with 4, 2 for Molina. For the Hobbs Eagles, we'll get to in just a second. Driving the right side of the lane is Brown. He'll back it out to the right wing. Dribbles through his legs against David, goes back to the right baseline on the zigzag, and then kicks it to the right elbow to his guard, Cavazos. Right back to Brown in the right corner, fakes it 3, gets high on his toes, drives baseline right, head fake underneath the hoop, wraps it up, and a reverse right to left, count it. Over the top of the rim that time for Brown, his first bucket. Eagles scoring, led by Clay's 5, David 5, 3 for Sanders, 2 for Beatty. Beatty in the front court, 15-8, leading by 7. Hobbs out rebounded 10-9 in the first quarter. Pass over to left wing to Soria, fadeaway 3 on the left wing, and it hits the back of the rim and high up into the strap behind the backboard, which is out of bounds, and it'll go back to Clovis. Clovis with 5 turnovers in the first quarter, just 2 for the Eagles. Biggest lead was 11 in the first. 15-8 though now, Clovis down by 7. Stop and go dribble now as Brown comes across, double clutch, gets rejected by Proby. Beatty pulls down the rebound, bounce pass back door on the right side and laid it up and in is Soria. Soria with his first bucket. It's now 17-8. Long pass the other end, a runner shot, air ball on the right by Ulibarri, pulled down on the baseline by Proby. That's his second board. Up ahead to Soria, dribbling behind his back, far left sideline. Gives it to David, gets it back, top of the arc, one hands it to Clay on the right wing. Clay's going with a spin move against Curry, gets double-teamed and stolen away by Cavazos. Eagles' third turnover. He throws it up ahead to Curry for the layup on the right side transition. That's his 6th point, 17-10. Long pass down to Beatty on the right block in the front court. Gives it back to Soria for 3 behind him. Off the right rim, no good. Chased down by Clay on the right baseline, his first board. Gives it back to Soria on the give and go. Layup on the right side, no good. Tipped up by Proby, can't get it to drop with 2 hands. And a rebound for Clovis as pulling it down was Gutierrez. Throws it up ahead to Cavazos, the guard at the free throw line. Fakes a shot. Returns it top of the arc to Gutierrez. Over to left wing to Brown. Fires up a 3, an air ball. Saved on the right baseline, but it bounces off the floor. Gutierrez right to Beatty at the top of the arc for his 3rd board. Tries to get ahead to Soria. And wait to see if the defender got a piece of it. Looked like possibly Cavazos touched it on the far left sideline on the pass. And we're still waiting to see whose ball they're going to give it to. It will be to Clovis. So it might have been Soria touching it last. Eagles 4th turnover, 2 in a row now. 17-10, Eagles by 7. 5:50 left here in the first district game at Tasker. And after the inbound, a travel by Brown. Started a shuffle step. Had some pressure by Proby and Soria in the backcourt. And that'll be Clovis' 6th turnover. 6-4 turnover count right now. Hobbs basketball on the left baseline. Inbounding will be Soria. Sends it back to Proby left corner. One hands it to Beatty at the timeline on the far left. Stop and go dribble. Comes down the paint. Goes with a scoop shot on the left side. The ball rolls off the back of the rim somehow. Had some weird wicked spin on it. I think he kind of flicked his wrist in the last second. Ball gets knocked out. It will be Clovis basketball. Quick first step for Beatty, kind of lured his defender out to that left wing and then just went hard to the rack. Just couldn't get the drop that he wanted. Dribbling now Brown in the backcourt for Clovis, taking on Proby, stop and go. Continues his dribble to the right elbow. Kickoff right wing to Cavazos. Spinning against Soria, the 2 number 3s battling. Over the right corner to Brown. Picked up by Soria right wing. Crossover move to his left hand to the free throw line. His pass deflected. Beatty takes it away at the free throw. Goes to the rack and looks like the defender touched it as it was going over the top of the rim. So count the basket. 2 points for Beatty, 4 for him. And the touch on the goaltend by Curry will make it count. 19-10, Hobbs by 9. 5:16 left, second quarter. Hernandez is going to return, and we did mention Adrian Moore went down injured in that first quarter. I don't see him on, yeah, he is on the bench now, so that's a good sign. He was helped off the court in the first. Inbound to Clovis in the backcourt to Cavazos. Picked up by Soria at the time stripe. Dribbling behind his back, top of the arc. Actually, that's Everett to the left wing. Bounce pass to the left corner as he gives it to Tapia. Kicks it right wing, fire weighing a 3 off the back of the rim, no good for Carpenter. Rebound in the middle of the paint, put back up by Molina on the push. He can't get it to drop. And then it's a rebound for Beatty for the Eagles, his 4th. 19-10, 4:49 remaining second, Eagles by 9. Beatty in the backcourt, keeps it dribble himself as he takes on the defensive Curry. To left wing, handoff to Soria. Throws up a high pass on that left wing, taken away in stride, and going to the rack, but missing the layup is Molina from the right side. That was the Eagles' 5th turnover. Rebound pulled down by Curry, and he gets bodied into. Not sure they got a call here. I'm not sure what the call was, though. They give it to Hobbs for, oh, they called a jump, I guess. Curry got the first piece of it, so he gets the rebound. Hobbs tied him up, so that'll be a jump, and it will be a turnover, too. Actually, it was kind of a simultaneous. We'll give him a break on that one. No turnover, but jump ball goes to the Eagles. Hernandez gets a pass in the front court right wing, up top to Proby. One hands it back to Soria right side. Wide open Trey out the front of the rim. No good. Pulled down underneath the net that time for Clovis by Everett, his 4th board. Up ahead to Curry, top of the arc, kicks it underneath the hoop to Molina. Over to right corner for a three-shot for Carpenter, in and out, no good. Soria with the rebound near sideline, gets a double team after a second rebound and gives it off to Clay. Clay's going to slow up the offense here as he comes across the time stripe with 4 minutes remaining in the half, up by 9. Step back three from the left wing, off the side of the rim, no good. Pulled down in the left block by Carpenter. Throws it up ahead to Curry, coming down the lane, and a whistle from behind. They called a carry on it. Official on the near left sideline gets the carry, and that's Clovis' 7th turnover. Coach Ross going to go back to his bench, bring in Jalen Sanders, Jadarius Lowe, and Malachi David. Hernandez will stay out there as well as Soria. Don't think anybody came in there for Clovis, who trails by 9. Sanders inbounds to Soria. They got 2 defenders in the backcourt. Cross court right to Lowe, still behind the time stripe. Comes across the time on the near side, comes down the lane to Hernandez left block, turns and fires, double clutch over the front of the rim, point blank range, and scores. Javen Hernandez with his first bucket. 21-10, Eagles matching their biggest lead in the first quarter, 11. In their front court, hard dribble to left elbow to Everett, fadeaway jumper and swish it. That's 2 points for Everett as Hernandez backed up just a bit, steals the inbound, double clutch on the right block after the Eagles' 6th turnover, but his shot is rejected by Malachi David, picked up by Lowe. Bounce passes Soria on the near side. He'll bring it across against a double team. Underhands it, saved by Sanders to himself, right block, or right corner. Throws it down low to Lowe, wide open in the left block, and scores. He got behind the defenders that time and puts it through the hole. Nice pass from Sanders in the deep right corner. First bucket for Lowe. Eagles up by 11, 23-12. Into the front court. Molina bounces off his knee, has to recover it on the right wing, and sends it back to the time stripe to Everett, right side. Guarded by Sanders, stop and go to the top of the arc, fires a 3 off the back of the rim. Rebound on the right wing, pulled down by the Wildcats in the hands of Molina, his 4th. Pass to Curry on the right elbow, gets knocked to the floor. He got sandwiched between Sanders and Lowe that time. Sanders kind of putting his hands up like, who'd you call that one on? And it will be against Sanders. Second on him, first team foul against the Eagles here in the second quarter. Coach Pickett going to his bench and bringing back Joseph Cavazos for Curry. Curry exits with 6 to lead the Wildcats right now. Top scorer for the Eagles, 5 apiece for Clay and David, but they haven't scored yet here in the second. Deep inbound of the timeline for Clovis in their front court to Cavazos. Dribbles around the left circle, continues left block, and then he got his foot down. He saw David getting high in the air to get ready to swat his shot, and he kind of stumbled a little bit and picked up the pivot foot, brought it back down on the travel. 8 turnovers for Clovis, 6 for the Eagles. 23-12, Hobbs by 11. Soria meeting a double team in the backcourt, throws it across far left to Sanders, gives it back to Soria, front side. To the right wing off the dribble, picked up by 2 defenders, tried to dribble in front of him and got the ball knocked out. Also went off Soria's leg out of bounds. Good D by Everett. Soria kind of lobbying the official that time, not going to change the call. Turnover Eagles, number 7. Inbound to the backcourt, in the hands of Everett, guarded by Sanders. He'll back off just a bit near the timeline. 2:15 left in the second quarter. Hobbs by 11. Stop and go for Everett to the right wing. Hand off to Cavazos. He'll back it out to the timeline. Crossover move. Stutter steps. Spin at the right block. Kick out right corner to Molina. Molina will send it back to the timeline to Everett. Gets a screen from Molina. Dribbles to the right wing. Hand off to Cavazos. To the left elbow. Backed up with a 2 shot off the back of the rim. No good. And there is Malachi David for the rebound underneath his 4th. Up ahead to Soria on the timeline. Right wing now as he brings it across. Gives it up top to David. Hand off to Soria. Left side to Lowe. Fakes a 3. Then he takes off, and they got a shuffle on him for a travel. They're really watching that perimeter real close at both ends to see what the guards are doing with their footwork. And that's going to be the Eagles' 8th turnover. Both teams with 8 apiece in the negative category. Lowe will take a breather, and coming in for him will be Hernandez. Clay's out there, so is David, Soria, and Sanders. And for the Clovis Wildcats, it's Cavazos, Tapia, Everett. Also, they just brought in Mike Clinton, that 6'5" player. He puts a screen for his teammate at top of the arc. Dribbling around it is Tapia. Fires the shot from the right elbow. Fadeaway, no good. Clinton pulls down the rebound, middle of the paint, but tries to dribble to the free throw line and stripped by Malachi David. Clovis' 9th turnover. David will bring it across the timeline like a point guard, dribbling through his legs. Unloads to Soria on the left wing. On the sideline, crossover, taking on Tapia. Up top to David. David with the jab step. Returns it back with a one-hander to Soria left wing. Trying to post up Hernandez, but he's getting squeezed by 2 defenders on the left block. Returns to Clay on the left wing. Clay gives it up top to David with a quick dribble. Triple team against him, tries a spin move. The ball is stripped, and they're going to call a carry. Wait, no, 3-second violation in the paint against the Eagles. Stepping up on D was Mike Clinton, kind of getting a piece of the basketball too, but the whistle came before the steal. That'll be the Eagles' ninth turnover. Both teams having trouble holding on to the basketball here in the second. Hobbs still holding on to an 11-point lead, 23-12. Hobbs scoring 8 in the second and 6 for the Wildcats. Eagles coming in with a 12-8 record, 20 games, and Clovis 10-8 at 18 games. Of course, 0-0 in district. 52 seconds left, first half, 23-12 Eagles. Inbounded to Everett, he'll bring it across the timeline against Beatty, who check back in. Comes to the right circle off the dribble, flicks it over to Curry. Curry up the top of the arc, and they're going to call the carry on it. Beatty kind of chested him up as he dribbled to the top of the arc. I heard the whistle, thought, oh, they're going to call a close foul there. They call the carry instead. So Clovis now double-digit turnovers at 10. Guards are going to be talked to by both teams, I'm sure, at half about their taking care of the basketball. Inbound to Surrey in the backcourt. Double team against him. Sends it to the near side to Clay. Still in the backcourt. Again, zigs it back to Surrey. The yo-yo to the left side to Beatty, left wing. Down to David, left corner. Rainbow three off the back of the iron. No good. Clay gets it, puts it back up on the right block. It scores off the glass. Clay now with 7 points and 2 rebounds. 25-12. The biggest lead of the game is 13 for the Eagles. 3 shot at the other end. Top of the arc by Everett off the front of the iron. Rebound Surrey on the left wing, his third. Dribbles in the front court with 12 seconds. Unloads to Clay on the left wing. Stepping out on D, hand in the face by Cavazos. Up top to Soria. NBA three going up and good. Soria nails it through. 5 points for Soria. 1 second left. Three-quarter shot at the buzzer is going to be well short by Everett to end the first half. The Eagles got their biggest lead of the game at 16 here at the half. 28-12 over Clovis. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with a halftime show live on Cool 95.7. HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Welcome back to Task Arena. We're at halftime here. So Hobbs Eagles opening up their district, leading Clovis 28-12. Hobbs up 15-6 in the first quarter, outscored the Wildcats 13-6 in the second. Again, a 16-point lead, the biggest of the game for the Hobbs Eagles. In terms of numbers of the contest, first of all, for the Clovis Wildcats, their leader is Buddha Curry. Not even a starter, but he does have 6 points, but 0 for 3 from the charity stripe, all in the first quarter of action. Everybody else has 2 points that scored. Kaiden Everett, he had a bucket, 0 for 2 on the line. Clifton Brown with 1 bucket for 2, and Johnny Molina had a basket for 2 as well. So 4 scores for the Wildcats in the first half. They did have 18 rebounds, 1 less than the Eagles. Actually led Hobbs in the end of the first quarter with boards, but Hobbs came back in the second to take the lead. Their leading rebounders for Clovis, Kaiden Everett with 4 and Johnny Molina with 4. They had 10 turnovers, 1 more than the Eagles, 9 in the first half. And in terms of the free throws, I just getting a score from the Hobbs Lady Eagles game as that was said. Let me just get that right now. Halftime, Hobbs up 31-8 over the Clovis Lady Cats. So a 23-point lead for the first game for district for the Lady Eagles. And then going back to the free throws for Clovis, not doing themselves any justice right now. They are 0 for 5 from the line. Curry 0 for 3 and Everett 0 for 2. On the Hobbs Eagles side, they've already got 7 scores in the books, led by Josiah Clay, 7. He had a tray in the first quarter, also 2 rebounds. Malachi David with 5 points, including 1 of 2 on the line and 4 rebounds, all his scoring coming in the first quarter. Lyric Soria also had 5, all in the second quarter. He had a tray. Braddock Beatty finished with 4 points and 4 rebounds. It was Jalen Sanders with 3, 1 of 2 on the line. Javen Hernandez had a bucket for 2 and 2 boards. Also with Jadarius Lowe with the basket for 2 points. And I believe that wraps up the scoring for the Eagles. So once again, they had 7 in the scorebook. Hobbs didn't get a lot of free throws, though. They were 2 for 4 from the charity stripe. That was David 1 for 2 and Jalen Sanders 1 for 2. Hobbs getting the 19-18 lead on the rebounds through 2 quarters. Lots of guys helping out on the glass, too. Beatty 4, David 4, Soria 3, and Proby 3. Definitely when the Eagles get a lot of guys cleaning glass, you get some wins. And we saw that through a majority of the first part of the season. And when David went down, we saw some of the rebounding numbers go down for Hobbs on the team effort at least. And that didn't help the cause out. So like to see on this team effort when it comes to glass work. And in terms of turnovers, we mentioned 9 versus 10 for the Clovis Wildcats. So those are your numbers in the first half as your Eagles lead 28-12. Hobbs Lady Eagles leading at halftime as well in Clovis 31-8. We'll take another 3-minute break, come back with the second half. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Hoops on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
go.
Back live here at Task Arena at halftime. Your Eagles up 28-12 over Clovis, a 16-point lead. The other game in the district tonight, Roswell and Carlsbad. Roswell coming in with 11-9 record, and Carlsbad at 13-6. In the Max Preps polls we talked about in the pregame show, Carlsbad ranked 10th in the state and Roswell at number 18. Of course, Roswell picked off Artesia about a week or two ago, win by 10, and that was at their home court. Hobbs, of course, lost in Artesia, so that's kind of an interesting comparison in that situation. It will be Clovis basketball to start this second half, trailing by 16. They get the inbound of the backcourt, and to start the dribble is Everett going against Clay. Taking his time, putting his head down, crossover to his left hand, top of the arc. Come back to get the basketball, top of the circle as well, Gutierrez. Bad pass in the lane, gets ricocheted, picked up by Beatty on the far right. That's going to be the 11th turnover up top to Clay. Takes it down the lane with a little bicep over the top, tries to throw up a finger roll in front of the rim, no good. Rebound brought down for Clovis. They try to throw it ahead, gets knocked out of bounds by the Eagles. And it will be Clovis basketball. Coach Ross asking for a foul as Clay just kind of tucked it and tried to throw his arm over the top of his defender on that previous shot. Inbound to the right elbow. It's knocked off the hands of Gutierrez, able to pull it down. Puts it up top to Molina, to the right wing to Everett. He'll back it out near the timeline. He wants it clear out on the right side. Gives it to the right corner to Gutierrez. Fires up a shot just outside the three-point line of the corner. Counter for a tray. First tray of the game for Gutierrez and the team. It's now 28-15. Quickly in the front court, Beatty against a 2-3 zone. Cross court right to Soria. Soria's going to back it out against a double team. Wrap around to Proby on the right elbow. Up top to David. Swing it left side to Clay. Brings the defenders over to him and holds it. Back up top to David. Fakes a three. Again to Clay on the left wing. Bounce it to Proby left corner. Slicing it through the lane to Soria. Reverse slam right to left. Misses off the front of the rim. No good. Underneath the hoop for the rebound is Carpenter, his third. Throws it across to his guard, Everett. Stop and go. Hand off on the left elbow to Molina. Puts his shoulder down against Beatty. Throws up a hook from the right block off the back of the rim. Beatty with the long rebound and transition is fifth. 2-on-3, reverse slap left side and scores off the glass with a finger roll. 6 points for Beatty, 30-15. Doubling up on Clovis are the Eagles. In the front court comes Everett. Sends it down to the right corner, but throws it behind his teammate, trying to come back to the ball. Couldn't get a grip on it. Jaden Tapia. That'll be Clovis's 12th turnover of the ball game. 2 here in the third quarter. Eagle basketball. Beatty on the near left side to the time stripe to Clay. Keeps it back to Beatty. Across the stripe to Surrey on the right wing. Bounce pass to the half-court line again to Proby against the zone. One hands it to Clay on the left wing. Double team against him. Kick it back deep to Soria. One hands over to Beatty on the right wing. Beatty takes a dribble to the baseline underneath the hoop, right to left. Scoop on the reverse and scores. Beatty with the back-to-back buckets. He's got 8 points to lead the Eagles now. 32-15. That's the biggest lead of the contest. 17. And now Coach Pickett wants to talk to the troops. 5:52 left, third quarter. Hobbs 32. Wildcats 15 from Clovis. We will be back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Go.
After the missed shot for Clovis gets knocked out of bounds. Hobbs basketball after the timeout. Hobbs up by 17 over Clovis, 32-15. Eagles flipping around the perimeter. Proby to the left wing to Soria, up top to Clay. Over to Malachi David, right corner near the sideline. Fires up a tray and swishes it right through the net. Malachi David with 8 points, his first tray of the game. Third tray for the Eagles in the contest, who lead by 20, their biggest lead of the game. In the front court, pass to the right wing to Brown. Brown gets some tough pressure by Proby, sends it to the left wing to Cavazos. Jump stop in the lane off the dribble, turns and fires a shot from the left block, clinks out the back of the rim. David rips it down on the right block for his 5th rebound. Throws it ahead to Proby on the right wing. No look pass to Beatty, right corner. Fakes a shot, dribbles to a little bit 15 feet, then throws a jumper, misses it, gets his own rebound. A runner's shot from the right baseline, no good. Pulled down by the Wildcats, but a bad pass by Cavazos. Stolen by Clay, lays it up in the right glass on a double clutch and is fouled. You'll get a chance for a 3-point play for Josiah Clay, who leads the team now with 9 points. And the foul's going to be called against the guy that threw the bad pass, Joseph Cavazos. That's now 13 turnovers for Clovis, 3 here in the third quarter. And we're not even halfway through the third yet. So Clay trying to work on his 10th point of the game and does so. Double digits, first guy to get in that situation for either team, 38-15. As Hobbs gets a steal, and Beatty will take it to the rack on the left side in the paint. Beatty now with 10 points. That's going to be the 14th turnover, and another Clovis timeout within about a minute of action. Boy, Coach Pickett is very angry at this Clovis squad playing lackluster basketball right now and have their biggest deficit of 25. 40-15, your Hobbs Eagles working on their 13th win of the season, a 12-8 record against the Wildcats, who are 10-8. In case you were wondering about these two teams over the years, they have played in some state championship games against each other. Back in 2008, the Hobbs Eagles beat Clovis 73-71. Clovis ended up 29-2 after that loss, so that was their second loss of the season. Hobbs went to 28-4 with the championship. That was Coach Russ Gilmore against Isler before he passed away. That was 2008 for that championship game. Hobbs also won with Coach Gilmore in 2001, 7 years earlier. They won 89-83. Eagles finished that season at 25-2. Clovis at 20-8. That was Coach Gilmore taking on Terry Ferguson for the Wildcats. In 1980, a big-time score for the Hobbs Eagles winning that championship. And that was, what was that, over 45 years ago with Coach, of course, Tasker. Eagles winning at 102-91, 193 points, 7 shy of 200 in that game. Eagles winning that by 11. Hobbs finished the season 24-2, and Clovis at 22-4. That's, of course, Ralph Tasker versus Jimmy Joe Robinson for the Clovis Wildcats. So that's the 3 championship games these two teams have played in over the years. Hobbs 17 total state championships. Clovis has had 4. Their last one was in 1979 for the Eagles, 2010 for Coach Mike Smith. Clovis inbounds a high one to the near sideline from the backcourt. It sails out of bounds near the Taskovich band for another Clovis turnover. And that'll be number 15 of the ball game, 5 here in the third quarter. Oh, wait, another ref is saying it was touched, possibly by Hobbs last. Oh, we got a confusion here. A little argument going on to figure out where they're going to keep it at. Looks like Hobbs will keep the basketball. Now a substitution for the purple squad. Coming in is Jaden Tapia as he checks in for Clifton Brown. Top scorer for Clovis so far is Curry with 6. He hasn't scored yet here in the third. Inbound to Clay on the left wing. Keeps it back deep to Soria. Gets a screen from Beatty at the top of the arc. Soria will bounce it back to Clay left wing. Fires up a 3 and nails it. Nothing but net for Clay. That's going to be 13 for Clay to lead the Eagles. 4th tray of the ball game for Hobbs, up by 28. A pass down the lane to the other end. There's a Swanathy layup attempt on the left side. Going up with it was Curry, and he got hammered as he went up. He's asking the ref if that's a shooting foul, and I think he's going to get that opportunity. They'll call that on Beatty, his first team foul here in the third. Eagles with only 6 fouls total in this ball game, 5 in the first half, 1 here in the third quarter. Curry and the team for Clovis having trouble with the free throws in the first half, 0 for 5, and a first chance here in the second quarter, or second half. Oh, a brick off the back of the rim. 0 for 6 are the Wildcats, not helping out their cause. Javid Hernandez returns for the Eagles. Proby will take a seat. Soria, Beatty, David, and Clay remain. Back for another shot, Curry. Trying to get his first point of the third. Another miss off the back of the rim. This team has yet to hit a free throw. Ball gets ricocheted out of bounds. Looks like it'll be Clovis basketball. So Curry is now 0 for 5, and Everett 0 for 2. Deep inbound, pulled down to the top of the arc by Clinton. Gives it off right wing to Egbert, who just checked in. Up top to Curry. Crossover move to the free throw line. Hippity hop. Does a lefty shot putter off the left glass and is fouled going up. Counted off the glass. He's got 8 points. He'll get another free throw if he can hopefully put that through for the Wildcats' cause. They'll call that on Hernandez, his second team foul. And Curry, who's on the line, has 8 points, trying to make it 9, but he is 0 for 5 from the stripe. Taking a little bit more time on the line right now. There's a lot of dribbling going on here for Curry. And he misses this one off the back of the rim, but it goes straight up in the air and falls through. Unbelievable on that one. 9 for Curry. That's the first free throw made of the game. 43-18, a 25-point lead for the Eagles. Their biggest has been 28. Ball comes across to Clay, across the time stripe, gives it Soria left wing, cross court right to Malachi David. David will send it back, yo-yo to Soria left side, gives it off to Sullivan, who just checked in. Back to Soria in the left corner, fakes it 3, slides right, throws up an 18-footer off the right rim, no good. Rebound, Hernandez right block, gets the ball knocked out of his hands, gets it back, fade away, and the right block is fouled, shoved backward that time. As Hernandez will get a chance for some free throws here. 3 rebounds for Javen. They call the foul on Clinton, that big 6'5 kid, his second. That's only the 5th foul of the game for Clovis. Didn't have any in the second quarter, 4 in the first. 1 here in the third. Javen has yet to shoot a free throw in this game. He is 58% on the season, but misses his first there. Another sub coming in. And on the court for Clovis will be Roddy Cabledew, 6'7", the tallest kid in the ball game, or on the roster for either team. And nice to see Adrian Mora back, who went down injured in the first half. Javen Hernandez's second free throw is a swish. He's got 3 points, 44-18. Eagles by 26. 3:39 remaining third quarter. Bounce pass to the baseline, stolen by Clay on the inbound. Goes up, double clutch. It's fouled as he kind of faded to the middle of the paint and had his bicep pulled down from behind. That was a steal for the Eagles, making it the 16th Clovis turnover. They got the foul on Cavazos, his second team foul. And now Clay on the line. He's 1 for 1. He had the free throw earlier for an and 1 in this third quarter. 13 points to lead both teams is Clay at this point in time. He had 22 against Artesia, the leader for the Eagles in that one last week. Makes the free throw. And now checking in for Clovis will be Kyson Ulabari, 6'3", sophomore. One of the younger kids playing tonight. In fact, he is the only sophomore on the team for Clovis. Second shot for Clay is hard off the back of the rim, no good. Pulled down in the middle of the paint by Cabledew, his second. Throws it across the timeline to Curry. Drives the lane with the left hand, throws up an errant shot. It's loose as it knocks off a couple of hands going up for the rebound. The ball didn't even hit the rim that time. Body's crashing hard. They're going to call the foul on the Eagles on Clay for a shove. That's his first, third team foul. The guy that came up down with it was Cabledew, his third rebound. Pass to the left wing on the inbound to Curry. Fakes it 3, hippity hop. Dumps it in the paint to Cabledew. On the left elbow now. Back deep to the timeline to Cavazos. Screen up top provided by Gulabari. Drives the right block, pivot. Bounce pass up top. Stolen away by Soria. Turner, number 17. He goes the rack right side. Gets his shot swatted, but then a foul. Ball kind of held on the rim for just a second, but the foul called. So Soria will get a chance for some free throws. And that goes against Jaden Tapia, his first, third team foul. Make it the 4th. So Soria will step up. He's got 5 points all in the second quarter on a tray and another bucket. On the season, Soria shooting 88%, and he makes his first free throw there. 6 points now for Soria. Eagles have shot 10 times in this ball game and are 6 of 10 from the charity stripe. 60%. 28-point lead, matching their biggest, and now 29 as they make that one. So Soria with the free throw, both of them, 7 for him total, 47-18. Eagles by 29. Hard across the timeline off the dribble. Ulabari stops in the left elbow, pivots. Good D by Hernandez. Bounce pass back door to Curry, but it's in front of him towards the baseline and goes out of bounds. Clovis now continues to rack up those turnovers. They have 18 in the ball game. 10 in the first half, 8 here in the third quarter. 2:50 left in the third, 47-18 Eagles. Surrey gets a pass on the far right sideline, bounce it ahead to Mora, right wing. Touch pass to Hernandez, right corner. Give to Surrey on the right side as well with the jab step. Bounce it low. Going up strong as Mora gets rejected. Swatted underneath the hoop by big mitt by Kyson Ulibarri and knocks it out of bounds on the right baseline. Will be Hobbs basketball. Braddock Beatty on the court as he'll come in for Lyric Soria. Inbounding on the right baseline is Sullivan for the Eagles. Gets it in to Mora, right corner. To Hernandez on the right wing as well. Back to the right corner to Sullivan. Fires a three out the back of the rim. Goes high in the air. Ball loose and pulled down in the right block for Clovis by Tapia. His first rebound. Goes ahead the timeline to Everett. Down the lane with a little reverse on the left side and gets fouled. Got hipped pretty hard there by Mora that time. And he'll get 2 free throws out of that one. They'll call that on Adrian Mora, his first 14th foul. Both teams with 4 apiece. That'll send Everett to the line. He's 0 for 2 from the charity stripe. 1 of 8 are the Wildcats, but Everett makes the free throw there. He's got 3 points. So far in this third quarter, Hobbs with 19 points and 7 for Clovis, a 12-point differential. Second shot is up, and it's a lot of reverse spin, no good. Pulled down with the top of the arc for the Eagles by Braden Dunlap. His first rebound as he came in off his sub. Misses the layup on the right side. Pulled down for Clovis. Quickly in the transition is Ulibarri. Dribbles the right block. Lost the ball. Stripped by Hernandez. Chasing it to the left wing and boots it out of bounds. Turnover for Clovis thanks to Hernandez on that one. 19 turnovers now for the Wildcats. Yeah, we mentioned Braden Dunlap steps in. One of the youngsters on the squad. Giving some size to the Eagles. Inbound to Selman in the front corner of the right wing, far right sideline. Dribbling right to left, unloads to Beatty left wing. Double team, touch pass left corner to Dunlap. Returns to Beatty. Back to Dunlap. Shot from 15 is on the way, off the right side of the rim, no good. And a chase for it is Mora battling underneath the hoop with Max Carpenter, gets knocked out. Actually, that's off the hands of Roddy Cabledew, so Hobbs will retain possession underneath their hoop. Check in for Clovis, Luke Carpenter. And for the Hobbs Eagles, Malachi David with some more size out there at 6'8". Sullivan to inbound right base, goes backdoor to Beatty, tries to scoop it underneath the hoop on the left side. His foul got knocked in the back that time. Ball came off the iron, but he'll get 2 free throws. Clovis has 5 fouls as a team now. It's double bonus for the Eagles, remaining 1:50 of this third quarter. They call that against Buda Curry, his first. Beatty on the line. Is not the shot a free throw in this game, but is 61% on the season. Nails the first one there, count it. He's got 7 of his 11 points here in the third. And now 1-1 from the charity stripe. Eagles 7 of 11 from the line. Second shot for Beatty, in and out, no good. Underneath the hoop, Jamin Hernandez tied up immediately. Both guys getting on the ball, Kyson Ulibarri simultaneously, and the arrow's gonna go to the Eagles. So they'll retain it underneath the hoop with a 29-point lead, matching their biggest of the ball game. Right back to that right baseline for the inbound for Hobbs. Beatty to do the inbounding on a box look on the inbound play for the Eagles. To David in the right corner. Puts his head down and tries to dribble up against Cabledew. Back to the time stripe. Someone had to save it. Beatty will get it on the right sideline. Spin move, goes from right, now back to the left. Zigzags over to Malachi David on the right corner. Drives baseline. And we got a push. David tried to get around with him on the drive there, but they called a hold or a push in that deep right corner of the front court. Cabledew picks up the foul, already a double bonus for the Eagles. Cabledew's first personal, 6th-team foul for the Wildcats, and that'll put David on the line. He's 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. 8 points. Could make it double digits with both free throws. Makes one there, now to 9. Mentioned David came into the game averaging 14.7 a contest. Best scoring so far for the Eagles. 13.4 for Soria, 11.8 for Clay, and 10.6 for Beatty. Both free throws good for David. He's got 10. Another double-digit score. Hobbs up by 31, their biggest lead of the contest. Coming down the lane at the other end, reverse layup, left to right, missed by Curry out the back of the rim. Rebound on the near right side by Cabledew. His fourth, kicks out to Curry. 3-point shots, an air ball from the right wing. It goes underneath the net, out of bounds. And it will be Hobbs' ball after we get a sub on the court for Clovis. Returning the game, Jaden Tapia. Eagles have Braden Dunlap still out there, Malachi David, Sullivan, Beatty and Mora. Inbound to Beatty in the backcourt. He'll go up against Tapia one-on-one with 1:14 left third quarter. Hobbs up 50-19. Crossover move to Beatty, top of the arc. Underhands it to Moore. Lost his footing for just a second. Moore able to get the pass. Over to Sullivan, left wing. Going to fire the three and good. Hendrick Sullivan with his first bucket of the ball game. That's the 5th tray of the game for the Eagles. 53-19, up by 34. And they pass it down the lane for Clovis with the layup on the right side. And that's put through by Kyson Ulibarri for his first bucket, 53-21. Here comes Malachi David with the cradle. Finds Sullivan left corner, another three on the way, and it's good. Back-to-back for Sullivan. Swishing it through. Sullivan with back-to-back trays. 6 points for Sullivan here in the third, 56-21. We're back to a mercy roll now. 3 shot at the other end, right wing by Ulibarri off the back of the rim. Rebound for Braddock Beatty, his 7th board. Lost the dribble off his knee at the timeline as it's stripped by Carpenter for the Eagles. 10th turnover. Pass to the right wing, deflected, picked up top of the arc by Ulibarri. Dish it back deep to Brown. He drives the lane, kick out left corner to Carpenter. His three good. Trying to get a hand in his face with Dunlap. Carpenter's first bucket of the ball game. 56-24, a 32-point lead. 3 at the other end for Beatty, was blocked in the right wing. Ball came off the iron and being tipped in the last second by Dunlap at the buzzer as it comes off the iron, no good. But the Hobbs Eagles up by 32 at the end of 3. 56-24 over Clovis. We'll be back in 1 minute on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Big lead for Hobbs Eagles as we start the fourth quarter over Clovis, 56-24. Hobbs up by 32. Their biggest lead has been a mercy roll for a few seconds at least at 35. Hobbs already has 3 in double digits. Josiah Clay 14, Braddock Beatty 11, and Malachi David with 10. And for the Clovis Wildcats, their leading scorer with just 9. That's Buda Curry. Everett has 3. Brown has 2. Ulibarri 2. Carpenter 3. Gutierrez 3. Eagles also get scoring in the first 3 quarters for 6 for Sullivan on 2 trays in that third quarter. Driving the lane after the inbound on the right side. It rolls around the rim and good for Brown. Clifton Brown now with 4 points. Eagles had 28 points in the third quarter, just 12 for Clovis. That's that big 30-plus lead. 56-26, 30-plus for the 30 lead right now. Coming down the left side of the lane, one-hand shot by Clay out the back of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled down by Everett. His spit throws it down the lane. Missing the righty layup is Brown. And we got a big battle for the rebound. Malachi David coming down with it simultaneously with Kyson Ulibarri. Both of them smiling and laughing at each other because the whistle came quick. Didn't really have much of a tussle with the ball that time, but the arrow going to go for the Eagles. Sending it down the near left sideline from Soria to Clay. He tries to take it to the rack, kind of leads towards the hoop. They call the body foul. Throw it through the hole for 2 for Clay, and the foul. So Clay now is 16 to lead both squads. Chance for a 3-point play. Ulibarri gets the foul. That's his second. First team foul for the Wildcats. Clay is 2 for 3 from the charity stripe at 67%. Makes that one now 17 points. Eagles as a team 11 of 16. 59-26, 33-point lead for Hobbs. Pass down to the left corner, firing a 3 is Carpenter. Wide open and puts it through the hole. Carpenter has 2 trays in the game, 6 points, and now a 30-point game. Inbound to Sanders near left sideline, gets it across to Clay, cross court right to Soria. To a wide open David right corner, wide open 3, and it's going through the threads. David now has 2 trays, he's got 13. 62-29, Eagles by 33. Quick pass up the court. Left corner again for Carpenter. His three hard at the back of the rim. Rebound on the right baseline for the Eagles by Proby, his fourth. Double team in the backcourt, middle of the court. Scoops it over to Sanders on the far right side. Up ahead to Clay, wide open on the left block, and they have a whistle at the half-court line. Gets her to call a hold from behind. So that stopped the threading of the needle down low. They call that one against Jaden Tapia, his second team foul. Desperation foul for the Wildcats. Him out of the time stripe to Clay. Gets it back to Surrey on the right wing. NBA three out the back of the rim. And pulled down to the left block for Clovis by Ulibarri, his third. Up ahead to the right wing, front court to Tapia. Back to the time stripe to Everett. Sends it to the right side to Ulibarri. Drives the lane with his left hand. Scoop shot on the left glass on the reverse and scores. Little finger roll action for Ulibarri. He's got four. 62-31, 31-point lead for Hobbs. In the front court, Proby on the near left side. Back to Clay right behind him. Holds it in front of the Taskovich band. Sends a high one over to the right wing and put down to Sanders. Down the lane to Proby, a fadeaway off the back of the rim, middle of the paint. Rebound on the way for Brown, his second. Throws it up ahead to his teammate, waiting for it is Tapia, who just shot puts it through the right glass in the hole for two. Tapia's first bucket. 62-33, a 29-point lead for the Eagles. Clay meets a double team at the timeline, throws it across the Surrey on the near left side. Extended zone right now. Pass the left elbow to Proby, over to Sanders in the right corner. He's going to spot up a three off the side of the rim. Gets his own rebound, goes back up with a scoop on the right glass and scores. Sanders now at 5 points and a rebound. 64-33, Eagles back to 31-point lead. In the front court, it's Everett. Kick it into left corner to Carpenter for three and nails another one. He's got two trays in the fourth, three overall for 9 points, and a 28-point lead for the Eagles. Surrey with the bounce pass, far right to Clay. Clay will take his time, jab step, comes across against a double team, fires it left wing to Sanders, drives the lane, leads and shoots and throws it through the rack. Got bodied up, no call. Sanders now with 7 points. 66-36, Eagles by 30. Picking it up at half court is Ulibarri, drives the paint. Scoop pass left corner to Carpenter, another three going through. He's got 4 trays overall, 3 in this quarter, fourth. He has got 12 points and a 27-point lead for the Eagles, enough for a timeout there for Coach Pickett, who thinks he's got a comeback. 66-39, your Hobbs Eagles up by 28 here in the fourth. We'll come back in 30 seconds on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Cool 95.7 Facebook page, all 3 on the internet, and on the radio at Cool 95.7. Your Hobbs Eagles leading 66-39, up by 28. Their biggest lead was a mercy rule in the third quarter. Eagles definitely doing some big-time scoring so far. Clay was 17 to lead the Eagles, 13 for Malachi David, 11 for Braddock Beatty. So those are the 3 in double figures. Hobbs has converted on 6 trays in the contest. But right now, getting a hot hand for Clovis, Luke Carpenter, who's hit 3 trays here in the fourth, and has one earlier in the game, a total of 12 points, all coming off of trays. So he's got 4 himself. Gutierrez has added 1. So Clovis with 5 trays here in the 4 total. Boy, almost a giveaway on the inbound is losing the ball for a second with Sanders able to recover. Throws it across the time stripe. Hernandez for the Eagles with the pivot. Over to Sanders on the right wing. Hippity hop through 3 defenders. A runner shot with 2 hands at the back of the rim. Rebound for Clovis in transition is Ulibarri, his 4th board. Dribbles into the front court, left corner, pivots, throws up an 18-footer off the front of the rim. Braddock Beatty with the rebound on the free throw line, his 8th, working on a double-double. Stop and go dribble, leads and shoots in the right block off the glass, no good. Ball loose on the left wing and picked up for Clovis by Clifton Brown, his 3rd board. 2 on 3, dish off to the right wing to Tapia, up top to Max Carpenter. He sends it to the timeline, almost lost by Carpenter. Carpenter to drive the left side of the lane, is bodied up. They're going to look like they got Sanders with the chest shot there. Hobbs fans not liking the call. Looked like he had his position, but maybe pushed his chest toward him. That'll give Sanders his 3rd personal. That's just the first team foul here in the fourth quarter with 4:05 remaining. And that will send Carpenter to the line, who's yet to shoot a free throw, but has 4 trays, 3 of those in the fourth quarter. Looking for his first non-tray shot for points in this ball game. Shot is up, and it is in and out, no good. They were 2 of 10 before that free throw, now make it 2 of 11. Guarantee what they're going to be working on in practice here in the next week, as they'll get ready for Carlsbad next on their schedule. Second shot coming for Carpenter is good. 13 now for Carpenter to lead the Wildcats, 66-40. Eagles by 24. Into the front court. Dunlap gets it. Has a cradle as he had a man on his back that time for Brown. Gets up top to Soria. Uses up his dribble on the pivot. Give it off to David left wing. Down to Beatty left corner. Posting up Hernandez. Gets down low. Then goes up strong with it and scores at the left side of the rim. Nice extension there for Hernandez with 5 points. And the inbound gets knocked out of bounds in front of the Hobbs Eagles student section. Beatty gets it to knock off the leg of Brown, and it'll be Hobbs ball after the turnover. That is the 20th of the ball game for Clovis, 10 in each half. To David on the right wing, fadeaway 3 in and out, no good. Ball gets knocked off Hernandez's head and picked up by Clovis on the free throw line by Tapio. Bring it across with an unload to the right wing to Carpenter. Cross court left to Ulibarri. Drives the left block, fadeaway jumper, no good off the iron, and pulled down for the Eagles by Dunlap, his second rebound. Up ahead to Beatty, middle of the court, over to Soria on the right wing, dribbling through his legs, stop and go, bouncing to Beatty, left wing, open him up for a 3 and count it. Beatty follows through with a nice 3 on the way. He's got 14. Eagles now with 7 trays. Going to the other end on the reverse, missing the scoop is Ulibarri on the right side. Soria with the rebound, top of the arc, his fourth. Goes down to Dunlap, a spin move. They're going to say he traveled. Took it to the rack on the left side after the spin. They're going to say his pivot foot came up and then down again before losing or releasing the basketball. That will be a turnover on the Eagles. That's the 11th of the ball game compared to 20 for Clovis. 71-40, Hobbs by 31 with 3 minutes left here in the fourth. Man-to-man pressure defense for the Eagles as the inbound comes in deep in the backcourt, and the dribble now for Max Carpenter as he takes on Dunlap through the timeline. Unloads the ball to the right corner. As getting it is Tapia, gives it same side to Ulibarri, drives the right baseline. Fadeaway jumper on the step back for 18 and fires it through with a foot kicked up in the air. 6 now for Ulibarri. 71-42, Eagles by 29, 2:35 remaining. Stop and go for Soria. Scoop pass up the far right side to Dunlap. He drives the lane, double clutch is fouled. Got chested up by the defender, Kyson Ulibarri. The ball came off the back of the rim, but a foul opportunity, free throws coming for Dunlap, as they'll charge that one again to Ulibarri, his third team foul. On the line will be 2 now for Braden Dunlap, excuse me. First shot is up and off the back of the rim. Trying to get himself in the scorebook. And I believe that's his first free throw shot of the season, at least as a varsity player. Has seen a little bit of time before. I believe 2 games he's had some time in. Second shot is hard off the back of the rim, missed both of them. Rebound put back up with a push shot by Mora on the right block. Got through 2 defenders that time as he tipped it over, and his foul counted for Mora. So Mora now in the books, his first bucket, second rebound. Luke Carpenter is going to get his first personal, 14 foul, 4-1 foul count now, favor the Eagles. As Mora will step up, yet to shoot a free throw in this ball game. Came into the contest at 44%. Now 60%, I should say. Free throw good for Mora. He's got 3 points. 74-42, 32-point lead again. Driving hard to the other end is Ulibarri. Fade away from the left block, but he put his head down and rammed in to the defender that time, completely knocking down the Hobbs Eagle player. And that was stepping up Brandon Alamanza. He has not been in the game until now and gets a charge out of that one. So a turnover for Clovis. That's their 21st of the ball game. That was against J.D. and Tapia, his third. 2:18 remaining, Eagles by 32. Sullivan checks in, gets the pass far right side, double team against him, throws it across to Mora. Picked up by 2 defenders, back to Sullivan at the time stripe. To Mora on the right wing, hippity hop, fade away in the middle of the paint, in and out on the jumper, and pulled down on the left block for the Wildcats by Carpenter, his fourth. As he tried to dribble, Soria got a swing at the basketball and knocked it out on the baseline right side, so it'll remain Clovis ball. Sanders rechecks for the Eagles, as taking a seat is Soria with 2 minutes remaining. Eagles up by 32. Now Coach Pickett going to his bench for the Wildcats as he'll bring in Trace Egbert. 2 minutes left in the game as the inbound to the near sideline to Curry. Good D by Sanders, puts up a stop sign in front of him, and Curry lost the dribble off his leg out of bounds in front of the Hobbs Eagles student section in the backcourt, and that'll be another turnover, 22 total for the Wildcats. Hobbs up by 32. Sullivan gets the inbound left wing, down to the left corner to Sanders, wide open three off the front of the rim, pulled down the rebound far side, in transition is Molina, his 5th board. Sends it to the left corner to Egbert, up top to Curry, had to reach for it, comes down the lane, windmill layup on the right side and scores. Curry with 11 points. He's the second double-digit scorer for Clovis, a 30-point Eagle lead. Sanders far right to Sullivan. He'll bring it across to the dribble. To Moore in the right corner. Double team. Back to Sullivan. Bad pass up top to Hernandez, taken away by Curry for the Eagles turnover. Curry goes to the rack over the front of the rim and scores. 13. Back-to-back buckets for Curry. The Eagles now with 12 turnovers. Pass on the near side from Sanders, cross-court right to Almanza. Sails over Almanza's head to the sideline and out of bounds. And the Eagles with another turnover. They've got 13 now. 74-46, 28-point lead. Inbound left wing, 3-shot on the way off the back of the rim. No good for Tapia. We got a scrum for the basketball. Sanders going with it against Curry. They're going to call the simultaneous jump, and it'll be Curry, or make that Clovis's basketball. Kind of a ironic there, Curry with the last name. Same as the county. 3-shot on the inbound, missed by Egbert right side. Rebound pulled down by Everett, his 6th. Gives it to Curry. Drives the rack with a little finger roll on the left side. Misses out the front of the rim. As the Eagles get the rebound, that's Sullivan's first. Sends it ahead to the right corner. Moore with the 3 out the front of the rim. And a nice pivot off the rebound underneath by Egbert, his first. Outlet to the middle of the court to Everett. Correction, that is Cavazos. Cavazos sends it right wing to Curry. Crossover move. Lost the ball in the air. Came back down and stumbled a few steps, and a travel. Another turn for Clovis, 23 in the contest. 74-46, Eagles by 28, 35 seconds remaining. They're running the clock here, but that isn't a mercy rule yet. Now they're stopping it and trying to get a sub in the game for Clovis, Kyson Ulibarri. Inbound in the deep part of the backcourt to Sullivan. Sends a high one over to Sanders. That's the jump for it. Double team down in the left corner. It's knocked out of his hands by Molina on the turnover. Pass back door to the left block. Going up strong is Cavazos, and is fouled going up. His first bucket as he gets it off the glass and good. You have a chance for a 3-point play. Call that on Sullivan, his first. Second team foul against the Eagles. That was his first bucket for Cavazos, and a first attempt for a free throw. It's off the front of the rim, no good. Pulled down at the free throw line for the Eagles by Dunlap, his 3rd board. Middle of the court to Sanders with 17. Spinning around with the dribble. Crossover to his left hand, stays in the logo. Stop and go. One hand's over to Sullivan far right from the scorer's table. Sneaks his way through 2 defenders and backs it out with 5 seconds. Gives it off right wing. Dalmauza back door and a layup on a layup by Dunlap before the buzzer, and he'll get in the scorebook right before the buzzer sounds. Your Hobbs Eagles get the win, 76-48, as they score 20 points in the 4th quarter and 24 for the Clovis Wildcats. So the Eagles improved to 13-8. Wildcats dropped to 10-9. Hobbs 1-0 in district, and the Wildcats at 0-1. Again, 76-48 win for the Eagles. We're coming back in 3 minutes on the Hobbs Eagle Network. back live here at Tasker Arena as your Hobbs Eagles get the victory over Clovis in this one. Big-time win, 76-48. Eagles did have a mercy rule at one point in the third quarter. They couldn't get it quite back to that 35 margin, but again, still a major victory in the contest. Hobbs up 15-6 in the first quarter. They outscored Clovis 13-6 in the second to have a 28-12 halftime lead. So only single-digit scoring in the first two quarters for Clovis. Hobbs getting 28 in the third compared to 12 for Clovis. And in the fourth quarter, Hobbs getting 20, but 24 for Clovis. Still 76-48 though, 28-point win for the Eagles in this one. Hobbs improves to 13-8, and Clovis drops to 10-9. Eagles 1-0 in district. In terms of scoring for Clovis, they get two in double figures, same numbers too. Buda Curry, 13 points in the game. He had a lot of free throws, but wasn't able to convert much of them. In fact, he was 1 of 6 from the line and had 1 point one rebound in the ball game. Luke Carpenter finished with 13 points, 4 trays in the game. He was 1 of 2 from the line, again 13 for him and 4 rebounds. So those two guys, Curry and Carpenter, combined for 26 of the 48 points for Clovis. Big drop-off after that in terms of scoring. Clifton Brown was 6 on 3 buckets, 3 rebounds. Kyson Ulibarri had 6 points on 4 boards. It was 3 for Kaiden Everett. He went 1 of 4 from the charity stripe. Ethan Gutierrez hit a tray for Clovis for 3. Jaden Tapia with 2 points, 2 rebounds. By the way, Gutierrez had 2 boards as well. Johnny Molina finished with 2 points and 5 rebounds. Non-scorers, Roddy Cabledew with 4 rebounds, and Mike Clinton, no scoring in this game for him, but 1 rebound. He's been kind of a factor for them with his 6'5" frame, but did not do much in this ball game against the Hobbs Eagles. In terms of scoring for Clovis, they had 9 in the books in this contest. Free throw shooting was dismal. 3 of 13 for 23%. They had 4 free throw shooters in the ball game, just not getting the job done from the charity stripe. They did hit 5 3-pointers in the ball game, and again, 4 of those coming off this hot hand of Luke Carpenter, who made 3 of his trays in the fourth quarter, although was not for a winning cause. The other tray from Ethan Gutierrez. Another problem for Clovis was the turnover situation. They had 23 turnovers in the ball game, 10 in the first half and 13 in the second half, a majority of those coming in the third quarter. They did out-rebound the Eagles by 3, 36-33. A lot of guys getting boards for Clovis. Everett had 6. He was the leader. Johnny Molina ended up with 5. And then after that, 4 apiece for Ulibarri and Carpenter. And Cabledew had 4 as well. And then 3 apiece for Cavazos, Brown, and a couple other guys getting 2 and 1 apiece. So lots of guys getting involved with the glass. Problem was the free throws and the scoring just wasn't there tonight for Clovis. On the Eagles side of the scoring numbers, 3 in double figures for Hobbs. The leader, Josiah Clay, second game in a row, of course, 22 against Artesia last week, against 17 tonight. He was 3 of 4 from the line, also hit a couple of trays for the Eagles, and had 2 rebounds as well. Braddock Beatty finished with 14 points. He was 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. He hit a tray in the fourth quarter and had 8 rebounds. So getting kind of close to that double-double, but a good game there for Braddock Beatty. Malachi David, 13 points, 3 of 4 from the line. He had 2 trays in the contest and had 5 rebounds. So with Clay, David, and Beatty, you're talking right there 44 of the Hobbs Eagles, 76 points in that ball game. Good numbers for the Hobbs Eagles offensively. Other scores included Lyric Soria, had 7 points, perfect on the line, 2 for 2, had 1 tray and 4 rebounds. Another 7 put in for Jalen Sanders coming off the bench. He was 1 of 2 from the charity stripe with the rebound. Javen Hernandez, back from injury, had 5 points, 1 of 2 from the line, and 3 rebounds. Hendrick Sullivan with a couple of trays in the fourth quarter for 6 points and a board. Braden Dunlap, one of the youngsters on the squad, had 2 points, 0 for 2 on the line, and 3 rebounds. Jadarius Lowe had a second quarter score for 2 points. Adrian Mora went down with an ankle injury, but still managed 3 points, 1 of 1 on the line, and 2 rebounds. The Hobbs Eagles, in terms of scoring, with 10 guys in the books in this ball game, so definitely got a lot of people involved. They got out-rebounded by 3, 33-36, but the leading rebounder, Braddock Beatty, with 8. Also, Malachi David finished up with 5. Lyric Soria with 4, Proby with 4, and 3 apiece for Hernandez and Dunlap. So lots of guys getting involved in the glass, just like Clovis, in a tough battle on the boards. Eagles three-pointers, a total of 8 in the game, so lots of guys putting them through for Hobbs. Malachi David had a couple. Beatty got a tray in the ball game. Hendrick Sullivan coming off the bench for his two. 2 trays for Josiah Clay as well, so lots of people stroking it from the outside for the Eagles. Again, 8-5 on the three-point shots tonight. Eagles with only 14 turnovers, 9 less than Clovis. And by the way, that's actually less than their average on the season, 14.3 a game. They got 14 tonight. Getting kind of close to the number, but not quite there as we've seen the rest of the season. So Eagles on the free throw line, 12 of 19 for 63% in this ball game. Eagles again winning 76-48. Again, that's their 13th win of the season. Another score coming in from the Clovis area. The Hobbs Lady Eagles winning big. That is a final now, 51-21. Basically the complete, well, actually that's the score they gave us in one place. I think we got an update on that one just now. Let me double check that. I'm seeing a better score that I just got sent from our studio. Let me double check that. I had 51-21, but that might have been a third quarter score. No, that is the final. 55-21. Hobbs girls winning tonight by 34 points, just one shy of the mercy roll. So great job for Coach Carpenter. Go 1-0 in district, still number 1 in the Max Preps poll as well. A couple other scores coming in tonight for finals. That includes the Eunice boys losing to Texaco 63-27. Eunice girls beat by Texaco as well, 55-19. Artesia all over the Lovington boys, 80-48. The Lovington girls beat Artesia 41-30. In the fourth quarter, it's the Loving boys 42, Tatum boys 36, 6-point game there. And the Tatum girls all over Loving 65-19. Thanks to Evie Stuber back at the station with all those updates for us. And again, 2 wins for the Hobbs programs tonight to go 1-0 in district. Also game tonight in Roswell. I don't think we have a score update on this one, but of course Carlsbad and Roswell going at it right now as we speak. Those 2 teams in terms of the Max Preps poll from the Hobbs Eagle District. Carlsbad at number 10 came into tonight at 13-6 on the season, and Roswell sitting at 11-9 at number 18. So Carlsbad in the top 10 currently, 1 spot below the Hobbs Eagles in the Max Preps poll. Roswell back down at number 18. I do not think that game has come final. We don't even have a game score on that one yet either, so hopefully we're not going to get that, it looks like, before the end of our post-game show tonight. But be planning on that game on Tuesday. It's a redo from this past Tuesday. The Eagles had to reschedule that because of the winter storm that came through the area, so that will be Tuesday night in Roswell. We'll have a 6:45 pregame and the tip-off at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, the Hobbs Lady Eagles will be right here at Tasker Arena as they will take on Roswell High as well. Both those games you can catch on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, also on YouTube. And for the boys' game, we'll have the Cool 95.7 will be the space you see for the Facebook page live video, and it'll be the Eagle 100.5 video for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. So hopefully get all that action on Tuesday. It's been a good one tonight for the Hobbs boys, winning here against Clovis 76-48. Once again, your Eagles are now 13-8 on the season. I'd like to thank Evie Stuber back at the station. Also Jessica Friend on scoreboard, Allison Friend on the camera tonight. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We'll see you next Tuesday at 6:45 in Roswell. Have a great rest of a weekend out there.